Hey y'all, it's Kim. So this is gonna be video number 3 of the Bill Clinton deposition. I know we're a couple of weeks behind, but I'm not letting it die. So it's just taking me a little bit of time to get to these videos with Bill and Hillary. Um, Hillary's already uploaded this, like I said, is the third video for Bill. And then I want to look at his attorneys, and then I've got a bunch of other documents that I need to, go through. But yes, let's go ahead and set a timer for about an hour, and then I will just probably upload some stuff on Monday too. So anyway, let's get this going. Sometimes it does that. I think my internet buffers its junk.
I ask a question. Representative Foster, you're still the youngest person in Congress.
Yes, I am, Mr. President.
Lucky you.
Hopefully that changes. If you're the youngest for too long, it's not good.
There'll come a time, believe me. I was, for most of my life, the youngest person doing whatever I was doing. And one day I woke up, I was the oldest man in every room, and I couldn't tell you for the life of me how I got from one place to the other. Time will take care of it. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Thank you. It's a blessing to be the oldest person in the room as well. Mr. President, I just wanted to circle back to the conversation around the conversation you had with Jeffrey Epstein on the golf, or with Donald Trump on the golf course in New York. You know, President Trump has said publicly multiple times that his falling out with Jeffrey Epstein was the result of him hiring away workers from Mar-a-Lago and his crimes. He said that's why he kicked them out of Mar-a-Lago. You brought up two questions about this. Did President Trump specifically characterize the result of this land dispute they had as a falling out specifically, to the best?
Yeah, he said they both wanted the same piece of land. Mm-hmm. He didn't say what it was, and that's all I remember.
And he said it was a falling out as a result of that?
Yeah, said it strained their relationship.
Do you know when this conversation happened?
When the conversation I had with him happened?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it had to be in 2002 or 2003, I think.
2002, 2003. All right, thank you. During any of your interactions with Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, did either of them ever mention or discuss their relationships or connections with Howard Lutnick?
No.
What about their relationship or connection with Alex Acosta?
No.
Prior to Jeffrey Epstein's arrest in 2019, did anyone ever speak with you about Epstein's relationship with Howard Lutnick?
No.
And what about Alex Acosta?
No.
Okay, thank you. Those are my questions.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning.
I'm Melanie Stansbury. I represent New Mexico's 1st Congressional District, and it's an honor to have you and your council here. This is a very important investigation, and we obviously have a lot of questions. And for me personally, this case is all about justice for the victims. And I really appreciated in your opening statements, your statement about nobody being above the law, including a president. And I think it's important that we are setting the precedent for Congress establishing oversight and subpoena power over a president. And I believe Donald Trump should and will ultimately be in front of this body. And I also appreciate what you said about women and girls who were abused by Jeffrey Epstein deserving justice and healing. And that's where I'd like to focus my questions. And in particular, I want to focus on 3 survivors who have shared stories that involve you. So I want to begin with Maria Farmer. Do you know who Maria Farmer is? Maria Farmer was employed by Jeffrey Epstein and abused by him for a number of years. And she first reported her abuse to the New York PD and FBI in 1996. And she states that she has personal knowledge that you visited Jeffrey Epstein's house 3 to 4 times while you were the sitting president between 1995 and 1996. And she says she knows this based on photographs that Ghislaine Maxwell showed to her, as well as discussions with the staff. So let me ask you, Mr. President, did you visit Jeffrey Epstein's house while you were president?
I do not remember doing that. I do not believe I did.
how do you explain this discrepancy?
Objection, calls for him to speculate.
I can't.
And it's also
I can't
hearsay.
speculate. But all I can tell you is I don't remember being there.
Okay. Moving on to Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Are you familiar with her? As has already been established, she has stated in numerous sworn statements, including a sworn deposition in the Maxwell trial, that she saw you on the island with Jeffrey Epstein. And in fact, this morning, her family shared her diary with me. And in it is a quote wherein she writes, quote, Bill Clinton met 2 times island with 2 girls, CT, GM, and JE. What is your reaction to that?
It's not true.
Do you have any dates associated with that? Were there dates on the diary?
I don't have that information, but we'll be happy to share it with you.
What?
Terrific, because I think there are also records that would reflect where else he would have been. So thanks.
Did she say that in her book?
This
With a
is from her
diary.
personal diary that her family shared with us.
But the book came out more recently. Did she say that in her book?
I'm just reading you the entry from her diary that her family shared with me.
I think she ultimately reached a different conclusion, although I had no contact with her.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure that it's on the record that is Virginia Giuffre's statement. Did you ever fly in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell?
Ever anywhere? I have no idea.
Okay, well, at least one of the survivors claims that you flew in a helicopter with Ghislaine Maxwell to the island.
Did you ever?
Then I did not do that. I've never been to that island.
Okay. The third person I want to talk about briefly is Shantae Davies. I know we've already mentioned her here today. I know you've already mentioned that she was listed as a flight attendant on the trip to South Africa in 2002 that you took with Jeffrey Epstein. Are you aware that Shantae Davies is a survivor who claims she was abused for 3 years, including during that time period?
I am now.
And are you aware that Jeffrey Epstein recruited his victims through calling them masseuses?
No.
You're not aware that
But
Jeffrey...
it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I didn't know that. No.
Knowing that Jeffrey Epstein recruited hundreds of minors as masseuses to massage him, and knowing that this victim, who was a survivor 3 years of his sexual abuse as a masseuse, was on the plane, does that make you think about the massage you received from her differently?
Can I just interrupt? You're saying knowing, you know that. He was saying that he was unaware that that's how Mr. Epstein was recruiting his individuals.
I'm asking if today, hearing
Have
this,
you
Thank
seen
you.
the picture
I have a copy of it right here. Yes.
where I'm sitting up?
I'm just asking if now that you know that Jeffrey Epstein recruited girls as masseuses, does that reframe that photograph, and knowing that there were girls on the plane that were being abused?
Now that-
Objection, it states facts not in the record. You can ask this witness what he thinks or remembers about anything that happened, but I don't think it's right to ask him to speculate.
She wants to know if I feel bad about it. Yes.
I'm not, I think
Don't you?
what I'm trying to
That's
get
pretty
at
much
is
what
that
she's
there
asking.
is a culture that surrounded Jeffrey Epstein, in which rich and powerful people saw young women that were survivors who were being abused and didn't say anything and didn't do anything.
So
And
is your
part
question-
of what part of what I'm trying to do is to ask you, we know there was a survivor that was on the plane. You've stated that you didn't know she was a survivor. I understand that, but I'm asking now that you are aware that Epstein was recruiting survivors as masseuses, does this make you rethink what you saw as you were traveling and interacting with him?
Okay, so he has already spoken to,
I like-
wait a minute. I want to make sure that you are clearly answering her question. He's already stated what he saw and what he knew. And so what you're now asking him is, given what you've now shared with him, does he think any differently about what he
Yes.
saw and what he did? Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I wish Shantae had told me. I liked her. But I didn't think it was anything unusual. I can't tell you how many airplanes I've been on where rich people asked me to go and they had someone offering massage. You know, all these boats that you go on, all that, they all do that. And usually I don't do that. I'm not into this.
Well, that certainly raises some other questions about people offering free massages on boats, etc. But I do want to enter a couple of exhibits into the record, and I know council is prepared to pass them out. And while that is occurring, we're going to introduce this exhibit. What is it? Exhibit I. It'll be Minority Exhibit I, which is a FBI PowerPoint that was included in the
Move ahead. Move
in
ahead,
the
sir.
files
Yours.
that were released as part of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. And then I would like to introduce this exhibit, which is Exhibit J, which is a internal correspondence emails between the FBI. And though I'm short on time, what I'll describe in both these exhibits is that your name appears in FBI tip sheets as having attended parties in Jeffrey Epstein's presence in which sexual activities were occurring. Did you ever attend a party of any kind or an event with Jeffrey Epstein in which sexual activities were occurring? Okay. And then finally, there will be many millions of people that watch this deposition. What would you like to say to the survivors directly?
That I hope this will produce a sense of finality. And I don't think that'll happen till the government starts holding on to all the records. I think that, the records should be released. And then I
Five
think that we need to
administration,
come up
Joel.
with strategies to help people who can't get over this, get better. And the most important thing we do, I think, besides treat the victims right, is increase the guardrails that will set off alarm systems and stop other people from doing the same thing Epstein did.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you.
We had an additional member join us in the interim. Could that member just identify themselves?
Absolutely. Hello, Mr. President. My name is Nick Langford. I represent New York's 23rd Congressional District, Buffalo suburbs, rural southern tier. Thank you for being here today.
Just for the record, the time check.
We've got about 5 minutes left in this round.
Thank you so much.
I think it's fine. Congressman Howard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for being here and for your time today. And thank you for your service. We have, as you know, in the files that were released, there were several photos that included you. And we have an exhibit here. That's just one of the photos. And Exhibit K, Minority Exhibit K.
Yep.
And we'll have that passed around. And what we're trying to get at is some context for the public on whether you remember this photo and any details you may be able to provide us about it. So do you recall the details of this photo or recall the photo being taken?
No, I don't think I ever knew the photo was taken.
Okay, and for those who can't see it, it's a photo of you in a hot tub. There's a person next to you here. Do you remember where it was taken? Where was it taken?
I'm almost sure that this taken, I think there's an adjacent photograph, which you probably have. And if people saw it, they would feel that someone was trying to con them, show them this picture. But anyway, this picture was taken in Brunei. And we flew one night on a trip to Asia, the last very long leg.
You said we, is it who is that including?
Well, my TIL team that was working
Thank you.
on the AIDS issue, and Mr. Epstein was there, and Ms. Maxwell. But anyway, we got to the end of the flight was Brunei. It's a tiny place, but a very wealthy one. And the Sultan of Brunei was a man that I had gotten to know well in my 8 years as president. And his first involvement with international matters is basically to join the Asian Pacific Economic Leaders Conference, which I started, and which he attended. And so, and then he was very proud of that. And he hosted, his time came to host it, you know, you do these things in rotation. And it came at either at the very end of my term or maybe the next year. Anyway, he wanted, when he knew I was coming, he said he wanted to help me with my AIDS initiative, and he's invited me to stay there. And he said, I want you to stay at this hotel, and I hope you'll use the pool. So I did. And then I got out and went to bed exhausted.
Just for the record, there's another picture that also shows this as part of the larger pool area. Do you all have that so that he can refresh his recollection with respect to that?
We should have it. It's quite enlightening. If you watch this,
Yes, it's noted.
it'll give
Yes.
you a different feel.
Thank you.
Okay.
We don't have it with us right now.
Okay,
We do.
thanks. I just wanted to make sure he knew the.
And so were there other people in that pool or hot tub with you as well?
I don't think there's anybody in the hot tub. I didn't forgotten that there was anybody in the hot tub, but it was big, but it was about.
Well,
He's asking you in the pool
it appears
area,
there's this photo, there's a girl over here, or there's someone.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
but he's also asking in the pool area whether other
Yes,
individuals.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so you don't know.
No, and then there were other people in the pool.
Okay, so do you remember, were they under 18? Would you
No.
know? No.
Were they part of your traveling party? He's asking you.
Yes, they were, I think. I think everybody there was part of our party. It was late at night and a relation. I also believe that there was a Secret Service agent there at the other end of the pool.
Okay, and was this in public?
No, it was a hotel room, and the Sultan wanted us to stay there, and the water, this big pool, was on the same floor that there were several suites, so we went out, I swam around, I sat in the hot tub for 5 minutes, I did whatever it was, and I got up and went to bed.
And then I have to ask this, did you engage in any sexual activity
No.
with this person? Okay, thank you.
He was
And that
dreaming
ends
of
this round,
Hillary.
and we can go off the record.
Sorry. He seems much more pleasant than she is, seriously. Oh my goodness.
All right, we'll go back on the record.
Thank you for that.
So I think that's the Republicans about to start asking questions. Just, I think that's how
Ready to
this
go?
works.
Yep, we'll start with
Wonderful. Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
the
Good. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Ben Horse.
Oh, you're fine, Mr. President. Mr. President, I want to make my questions as quick and as painless as possible so we can move on with the day and hopefully not keep you here for too long. First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No,
Have you ever lied while under oath?
no,
Thank you. Were you personally aware that Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times during your presidency?
at the time it happened,
Yes.
no, at the time it happened, I was not.
Do you know, so Jeffrey Epstein never asked to meet with you personally in the White House while you were president during those 17 visits?
Not to my knowledge,
Would you know who he was meeting with?
no,
Okay,
I
well,
didn't know he was coming.
is that standard protocol for the president to not know of someone who is attending, visiting the White House 17 times
So wait, excuse me, just to be clear.
while you were
The
president?
White House office, which has 1,600 employees, you're speaking of the White House office. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I think that most presidents don't have a clue who's coming in every day unless it's somebody of personal interest to the president.
Yes, and you did have a familiar relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, correct?
No, I wasn't aware I'd ever met him when I was president.
While you were president. We are trying to establish if Jeffrey Epstein was a foreign or potentially even a domestic asset of some kind. Do you have any reason to believe that he was trying to seek access to classified materials, intelligence reports, or sensitive government information?
No, I knew nothing about this story until it came up. I was glad to see that picture of the
Yes, and
Mr.
Mr. President, sorry to interrupt you, Mr. President. Since knowing Jeffrey Epstein and knowing that he had visited the White House, were there any conversations from your associates, any White House staff, or anyone familiar with the meetings that said he was seeking detailed information about government relationships?
Does that question relate to back in the day or now? What's the time of the question?
I'm asking, since you have been aware, any time since after you were aware that Jeffrey Epstein visited the White House 17 times, has there been any conversations with anyone that you are aware of that Jeffrey Epstein was seeking sensitive government information?
That's to the best of your recollection.
To the best of my knowledge, no.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And moving on, at any time while you were traveling on any aircraft owned, leased, or otherwise affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein, did you engage in sexual relations or sexual activities with anyone other than your wife?
No.
During
probably didn't
any
even have
such
it with his
flight,
wife.
did you witness or have knowledge of any other individual engaging in sexual activities with any female passengers?
No.
In 2002, you participated in a 10-day multi-country trip to Africa while traveling on a Boeing 727 owned by Mr. Jeffrey Epstein. This trip was organized by Ghislaine Maxwell. Do you recall this trip, Mr. President?
I recall the trip, but I don't know that it was organized by Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yes,
I
sir.
believe we were going places that I needed to go for my work in Africa.
Yes, sir. Internal FBI records describe the aircraft as having a section with couches adjacent to which a sliding glass door leading to another compartment. There was a bed. Are you familiar with the layout of this aircraft that you traveled on?
I'm familiar with the fact that there was a bench that turned into a bed at the end of the passenger seats.
And no other bed you are familiar with? Did you ever go into any part of the aircraft with a bed that you perhaps lied on or utilized?
I'm familiar with the bench.
Yes.
It turned
I gotta
into the
cover
bed.
this lady's
Yes.
face.
I
It's
do
getting
not
on my
believe I ever
nerves.
went into the back
I
section.
can't. Hold on. Let me cover her face. I cannot deal with her. Something about the way she's looking. I don't like it.
At any time while traveling on such aircraft, do you remember utilizing either the bench that laid? I'll keep it as one option for now. Do you remember utilizing the bench as a bed? Was it laid out as a bed?
I remember.
I don't remember, but that doesn't mean I didn't. I'm familiar with the note.
Yes, sir. FBI internal records relay testimony from Dr. Greg Bledsoe, who participated on the 2002 Africa trip. Did Dr. Bledsoe describe multiple millionaires? Dr. Bledsoe does describe multiple millionaires and billionaires on the plane. Do you remember any of the names of those individuals, potentially even the actor Kevin Spacey?
And Chris
Yeah,
Tucker.
Kevin was on the plane.
Did Dr. Bledsoe also describe, he also describes multiple young women were present on the flights and that Maxwell appeared to be in a position over the girls on the plane and was directing the girls. Can you describe the purpose of these women participating in this multi-country
Objection to form of
trip?
the question. No objection to you asking the president what he saw, observed, heard, but he can't possibly speak to what Maxwell was in her mind.
Did you witness, Mr. President, Ms. Maxwell appearing to be in the position over other girls on the plane and possibly directing the girls?
Well, I thought that she was Epstein's top aide and that she was basically in charge of what happened.
What did happen, Mr. President?
I don't know. I mean, I've already told you this. I'll tell it again. I never saw anybody do anything wrong. I thought they were flight attendants.
Do flight attendants typically wear tank tops and jeans?
They don't all wear uniforms on private planes.
Yes, sir. Most are dressed probably pretty business class. But
So
moving
wait,
on.
his testimony was with respect to private aircraft, people are not wearing uniforms.
Correct.
Go ahead.
Dr. Bledsoe described at least one of the girls serving as a masseuse. At any point, did you or other male passengers receive a massage from this young woman or any other young women who are described as a masseuse?
Well, I've seen one picture that shows that in a airport waiting area, one of the women was massaging my neck. That's all I've seen.
Have you received more than one massage from these trips with Mr. Epstein and the young girls that were present?
I don't recall them, but the problem I remember from that trip was that my neck had spasmed and I was in, and so they offered to help and I let them help. One was.
She asked whether or not you recalled any other massage.
No, I do not.
Thank you. Mr. President, moving on to my next question. Submitted to the record, we have a painting that seems to be of you, Mr. President, found in one of Jeffrey Epstein's residences, wearing a
blue dress.
I would categorize it as a famous blue dress worn by the White House intern Monica Lewinsky. And I have this image here. This image is being passed around. If we need to go off the record while we do that, we can.
I can take the picture.
So
do you have a question?
It will be
Yeah, I do.
marked as Majority Exhibit 15. Proceed.
thank you. So Mr. President, we are looking at an image of a portrait that is looks to be you, Mr. President, in this blue dress. Can you describe this painting? And
He doesn't need to describe the painting. You just gave him a picture. What's your question?
my question is, are you familiar with this painting? Have you ever seen it in person?
I've never seen it in person.
Do you know why someone would paint this?
Are you asking him to
Objection.
speculate?
That's calls for speculation. You can ask the artist.
And if I had known Jeffrey Epstein had this painting, it would have saved me this whole day.
Did you ever introduce Epstein to Monica Lewinsky or any other young female White House
I
staffers?
did not.
Did Epstein ever request introductions to young female intern staffers of you? Did he request you to introduce them? And one regarding this exhibit 15, this portrait, to the right of this image, there appears to be a plain letterhead document that is framed in a gold frame. Are you familiar with
Did he testify that he's not seen this picture?
the painting we asked? Yes, and now I'm asking about the image next to it. So
Are
this
you
is-
asking whether or not he's familiar with what's in this small frame?
I'm the part that you have covered up.
This
I'm
part?
asking if he's familiar with this letterhead letter
There's
that
no
was
letterhead that we
hand-
Is this part of the painting?
No, sir. This is next to the painting and it's framed on the wall in the home of Jeffrey Epstein. I guess a better way to ask, other than the birthday note that was passed around here today for Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, Mr. President, did you ever handwrite Jeffrey Epstein any other notes?
Well, I wouldn't remember except that I've seen a picture recently of another note where I thank him for getting me away from the crowd on the airplane for a while so I could take a nap.
Yes. Okay, Mr. President, I just have two more questions for you and then I will let you go. And again, I'm so grateful for your time here today. We also have another exhibit from the committee, and it's page 49, I believe, and the, how do you want to classify this one?
Okay.
It will be marked as Majority Exhibit 16.
In this is a portion of Virginia Giuffre and her testimony. And in it, she is referencing you, Mr. President, and says he, Mr. Clinton, told me long ago that everyone owes him favors. They are all in each other's pockets. she's asked, I'm sorry, maybe that wasn't you that he was referencing, Clinton. I'll start over. He told me long ago that everyone owes him favors. I believe that's referring to Mr. Epstein. They're all in each other's pockets.
Sorry, could you, so what line are you starting at?
Yes, ma'am. I'm starting at the first line, and I do believe I incorrectly said that she was referencing Mr. Clinton. So to correct that.
She's not referencing,
Correct.
she's not referencing
Mr.
President Clinton. She's referencing instead. Who?
I believe this is
Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein that she is referencing
Ugh.
here.
Thank you, Ms. Bober.
Thank you. And then she's asked, would you say you asked him why Bill Clinton was here? And Virginia responds on the island, where he was here on the island. And she goes on to say,
Excuse me, can you clarify who JS is?
can we look and see who JS
It says
is?
B and then it
Yes.
says JS, so is
Yes, I
this
will get you that name.
but this is a
Here, I can
conversation
pull it up right
between
here.
two people, or is this a
Yes,
transcript of a
This
deposition?
is a transcript of a deposition, yes.
Thank you so much.
It says telecon at the top, doesn't appear to be a deposition.
It says,
What do we have this as?
I'm not objecting.
No, that's fine, and we could go off the record if you want, just to get this.
I don't have this.
So this is, go ahead.
We'll go off the record.
Yeah, I don't like that lady's face. She just keeps making that scally look.
So we can go back on the record.
Thank you very much. And this is a long dialogue between Mr. Jack Scarola and Virginia Giuffre, and I will summarize this. It is mentioned by Virginia that everyone owes him, presumably Jeffrey Epstein here, favors. Mr. President, were you ever in the position to owe Jeffrey Epstein a favor?
I didn't consider that. I thought we had an understanding about the airplanes, that he would let me use the airplane to set up my AIDS programs around the world if I agreed to talk to him for an hour about economics and politics on every long leg. I kept my word, and he seemed to honor his.
Were there any sensitive government topics ever discussed
Never.
in those conversations? And also here,
just for the record,
Virginia,
did the court reporter get his response? Thank you so much.
thank you. Sorry, I'll try not to talk over you. Wrapping up here. Virginia Giuffre is also asked in this document.
The same one you handed us?
Yes, ma'am.
So we should be looking at,
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines down. JS is speaking. Were sexual orgies a regular occurrence on the island at Jeffrey's house? Yes. My question, Mr. President, were you ever aware or engaged in any of these sexual orgies?
are these on the island where he's testified that he's
No,
not
ma'am,
been on the
I
island?
was never on the island.
Were you ever on any island in the Virgin Islands?
To travel for a trip with his wife, which is on the public record? I'm
With
sorry,
Jeffrey
what's your question?
Epstein?
No.
You were never in the Virgin Islands with
Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Jeff, okay, thank you. Mr. President, there's been new information that has come out regarding the autopsy of Mr. Epstein. I would just like to ask you personally and directly, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
Are you asking him to speculate on how Mr. Epstein died?
I'm asking what the president
What
thinks
does he
of-
So
think?
you're asking his opinion?
Mr.
Yes.
President, was your friend Jeffrey Epstein
Are you
suicidal?
classifying him as a friend who he has testified that he
He
was
has called
friendly?
him a friend in a letter.
He said he was friendly, but not, you've asked for his
Mr.
testimony. here.
President, do you believe that Jeffrey Epstein was suicidal?
You know,
Was he ever
She's asking for the
suicidal?
best of your
I
understanding.
don't know. I only know what the medical finding was. I think maybe
that's it.
he finally got caught. I don't know. I've accepted it in my own mind. I don't know what happened,
Mr. President, what did you accept? That he killed himself or that he did not?
but he did, but I don't know.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Neither do
Mr.
you.
President.
We don't, none of us know. We weren't there.
Mr. President, it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, in the previous hour, you discussed your relationship with Ms. Maxwell, and I have a few general follow-up questions. And I may make
may make you repeat yourself, but I'll try hard to not ask you questions you've already answered. First, can you characterize your relationship with Ms. Maxwell after your presidency?
Well, I didn't, to the best of my memory, I didn't see her very much until I started flying on Mr. Epstein's airplane.
And for the record, would you at any time ever consider her to be a friend?
Oh, yes, I would.
What years would you consider her to be a friend?
I don't know, when she started going with Ted White, I saw her more frequently. Because I saw him more frequently. Then she was around CGI. So if you compare the time I spent with her to the time I spent with Mr. Epstein, I spent more time and I felt that we were better friends.
How did you typically communicate with Ms. Maxwell?
When she showed up at something that I was doing, or was like.
So in person?
At CGI, yeah. I bet I never talked to her on the phone more than twice in my life.
And what were the nature of your communications with Ms. Maxwell? What you recall?
I don't recall anything. I don't recall what they were, but she was always, I don't know. She was very interested in CGI. I remember that. And that's it.
And for the record, Mr. President, did you ever have any communications with Ms. Maxwell related to young women or girls?
No.
At this time, I'd like to introduce what will be marked as Majority Exhibit 17. And while it's being handed out, I will note for the record that this is the transcript from the two-day Ghislaine Maxwell interview with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, conducted by the Department of Justice on July 24th and 25th of 2025. And I will not be making you read the entire transcript. I will direct your attention when you've had a chance.
Okay.
Mr. President, have you seen this transcript prior to? Yes.
No.
I'd like to direct your attention to day 1, and we are looking specifically at the bottom of page 9.
Yep.
We need a copy.
Do we have a second copy and a third copy?
Give me 1 second.
Thank you so much.
We'll go off the record briefly. We will go back on the record.
Yep.
During Ms. Maxwell's interview, she stated that President Clinton was her friend, not Epstein's friend. Is that accurate?
I'd say that it was accurate to say that I felt closer to her than to him.
And for the record, why was that?
Because I had seen her more, and because she was very good friends with Evelyn Rothschild and his wife Lynn, whom I knew and was in regular touch with. And
okay, you're on page 1. Just want to make sure you're reading the right section.
She characterized your relationship with her as warmer.
Yes. Is that your question?
Would you agree with that?
Warmer than with Jeffrey Epstein?
Correct.
Oh, yes, but it was not in any way sexual.
At this time, I'd like to direct your attention to day 2 of the transcript, and now we are looking at the bottom of page 12, and it is page.
I see it.
258 and 259.
Wait, pardon me. Sorry, I'm not with you. Bottom of page 12 says 42 to 45.
Of day 2.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Okay.
Day 2, page 12. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Page 252.
257 to 260.
Okay.
258 and 259.
Okay, got it.
Can you hold on 1 second? Can you wait?
258, 259?
Correct.
Got it.
Are you asking us to read that?
Yes,
All of 258 and all of 259?
correct.
Okay, is there part of this you want me to read?
No,
No.
he has a question. He wants to make sure you read through here
Two
and
pages.
you read through here.
Okay.
He's asking about these two. You read them? This and this. No, you don't have to read the other part here. Okay.
Yes. Got it.
Mr. President, you've had a chance to review the transcript here. Blanche asks Maxwell if she has ever visited your home in Chappaqua, to which Maxwell testifies that she had been invited to visit your home. For the record, did Miss Maxwell ever visit your home in Chappaqua?
It wouldn't
Excuse me,
surprise-
counsel, the transcript says I went to the house. Does it say invited? Did I miss that?
Maxwell replies after Blanche asks,
Got it.
why
Sorry.
did you go to the house?
You're right.
Maxwell says, I was invited.
Got it.
I will repeat the question again. Did Miss Maxwell ever visit your home in Chappaqua?
I don't recall, but it's quite possible she did. Hillary was a senator. In the beginning, she had a lot of events there. And we knew her.
During the same exchange, Miss Maxwell implies that she may have been just driving past Chappaqua and stopped in if you were home. Did this ever occur?
Not that I remember, but I may not have been home.
But Mr. President, is it common for people to just stop by your house?
No.
And for the record,
one or two people who do that.
So for the record, you're a former president. Does your security detail allow people to show up unannounced?
Well, they'd allow them to, but they don't, your question is whether or not the security allows them in.
Yeah, they have to be cleared to be able to come and go
Thank you.
like that.
Ooh, his hands.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to ask about Doug Band and what was Doug Band's relationship with you, sir?
Well, it changed over time, but he was basically the last in a long line of young men that were my sort of body people. They were close to me and supposed to get me where I was trying to go on time and all of that. And then after he and another young man, Justin Cooper, wanted to come with me when I left the White House. When you leave the White House, they give you, you get, I don't know, a certain allocation for staff. And I think there have been 9 positions you can put on federal health insurance. I think that's right. But anyway, Doug and Justin were 2 of them.
So I'd say it's pretty close.
What?
You were pretty close.
We were close, and Justin wrote my book with me, and he did all the, the clerical work, and Doug was our main fundraiser when we started off.
Okay. I'd like to introduce majority exhibit, I believe it would be 18, which is the EFTA 02332287.
Thank you very much.
So this is pretty short. This is an email from Doug Band to
Yep, I'm familiar with it.
GMAX, which is commonly known as Dwayne Maxwell.
Yep.
It says, for the record, the email states, "You back. Another way to get in touch with me quicker is on my BlackBerry, actually the president's, but we share it." The email that's listed there, WJC, is that your email address? Or was that your email address?
Practically, no. That is, I never sent one email on it.
But you recognize that?
I recognize it, and I think Doug thought it would increase his cachet if he had an email with Oversight C on it. And
But he's asking you, is this your email, Mr. President?
no, I didn't send emails on it.
Did you share a BlackBerry with Mr. Band?
Well, he says we did, but I think I finally got another BlackBerry.
But this was back before. Okay, sorry, Mr. President, this is back in, think of the year, look at the year, so you make sure you're answering the question.
2001.
Did you have a phone in 2000? He's asking you, was this your BlackBerry or did you share this BlackBerry with him?
Well, I've been out of office then 9 months.
Did you have a phone, Mr. President?
I don't think I did. Anyway. But the truth is, I don't remember. I just know that I did not email.
Okay. So you did not email. How often do you send emails? Or did you send emails?
Have you ever sent an email, Mr. President?
I sent one email to John Glenn, Senator John Glenn, when he was in space at age 77. And I sent an email to the men and women aboard a U.S. ship in the Adriatic during the Kosovo War.
Have you sent any other emails, Mr. President? He's asking.
Since then, I'm not sure I've sent one.
Okay. I'd like to introduce Majority Exhibit number 19.
Makes me a certified.
Which ends in 2335030.
Yeah.
One goes to.
Okay, if you're ready, I'll be happy to read it out loud. It's again, it's from GMAX, Elaine Maxwell.
Yeah, I read it.
We believe, well, it's redacted. Having seen the unredacted files, we believe that the two is to the same email. It says, "Sorry to hear about the Bellsburg stuff. Is bad news. Even worse, that it may be damaging. You know that one of my pet fears is that in London I am press toxic. So I hope that I never add to your woes in that department. If I hear anything, I will of course let you know. I could not help myself. There was one juicy little tidbit I did let out, the one about what a super stud that you are and how I have a crush on you and how you are hung like a horse."
What?
And well, you get the picture. Hope you don't mind. Are you familiar with this email?
Are you saying at the time it was sent or in the preparation for this?
At the time that it was sent, were you familiar with it?
Oh, no.
Are you familiar with it before?
Yes.
Okay.
Now famous.
Okay. Well, what can you tell me about your knowledge of this email?
So if his knowledge is only from when he was prepared for this hearing, that would have been with his counsel, or is that what are you asking for outside of any preparation for
Yes,
this hearing?
Mr. President, do you believe that Mr. Band sent this or received this email?
I do.
Okay. So, and there's more. Let me go to the next one. Exhibit, which would be number 20.
And the answer is, I
No, wait,
don't
wait,
know.
there's no question.
At the time,
I would just ask you to clarify whether or not you're asking if he knows about these emails at the time they were sent, or if you're asking whether or not he came to learn about them in the course of preparation, just so that distinction in time is clear.
okay. I believe this email is also very short. It's just at the top, again, it's from the WJC email, same one. And it says, this email is silly. I want to spank bottoms tonight.
Who's it from?
It's from the same email account, the same email that has been used before, the WJC email. What was your knowledge of Mr. Van's relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell?
I knew he was, basically, he contacted her the same way that she represented Epstein on things. I did not know, nor did I need to know, that they had a personal relationship.
Did they have a physical relationship?
Are you asking him whether or not they had a physical relationship?
You believe they had a physical relationship?
I don't know for sure.
And just to be clear, you said it, but you did not have a physical relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell.
The president
not.
answered that question multiple
Absolutely.
times.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, and finally, I want to move on to another question regarding the visits to the White House. Are you familiar with Mark Middleton?
Yes.
Can you describe who Mark Middleton was?
He was a young man from Arkansas who was really ambitious, wanted to go to work in Washington, wanted to have, and he knew Mac McClarty, my chief of staff, who was from Little Rock, and Bruce Lindsay, who was also from Little Rock. And he worked with us, and then later I think he became, I don't know, but maybe he became a lobbyist later, but there was a period of time when he was in a position to wave people in to the White House because he was, that was one of his jobs.
Okay. So he has been identified by multiple news sources to be the individual that most of the time was entering or signing in Jeffrey Epstein into the White House.
Yes.
And what role did he have specifically at that time?
He was working and, on logistical things in the White House, but there must have been someone else who he told him to let him in. Maybe Mark had I don't know if he had the authority to let people in.
You can only testify to what you know. He's asking, who did Mark Middleton work for in the White House?
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I can find that, but
So knowing that he met with Mark Middleton or was signed in with Mark Middleton, do you have any knowledge of the content of the meetings or the topics of the meetings that Mr. Epstein would be coming for?
no, Mac never said anything to me about meeting with him.
And by Mac, do you mean Mac McClarty?
Yeah.
Chief of staff, did he work for Mac McClarty?
Well, he might have been, but at the time, was this at the beginning of my presidency or at the end?
This would have been during the 90s at the beginning.
1993 to 1995 is what they provided before
Yeah, he
the
was-
time for the visits.
He was my first chief of staff, and then he became my special envoy to Latin America. So
And this is Mac McClarty.
I'm McClarty. So
Okay.
It depends on. Well, we could tell what he was doing. We knew when this happened.
Okay. Are you aware that Mr. Middleton committed suicide
Yes, I
in
am.
2022? He was found dead at Hefner Ranch, approximately 30 miles from his home in Little Rock. He was discovered hanging from a tree by an extension cord around his neck with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. So he was shot and hung. Do you have any information that leads you to suspect that he did something other than commit suicide?
No,
Do you have any concerns that this was in relation to his knowledge or relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, given the date?
The president has
Of the
already
suicide.
testified to the fact that he was unaware that Mr. Epstein was visiting the White House. So are you asking him then as to what he would have known?
I'm asking, when you heard about the death, knowing about the things that have been, at this point, it's all over the news, seeing that he has committed suicide. Have you ever had any conversations with people about whether or not that there's any relationship between the two?
oh, no, no one's ever suggested it to me.
Okay, thank you. I go back.
Next up, Mr.
It's really sad.
It is.
McGuire from Virginia.
He represents UVA. He represents UVA. Represents UVA.
Still don't understand what you just said.
I served in Navy Special Warfare during your presidency.
Thank you.
In your opening statement, you talked about preventing future or more human trafficking in our country, and I agree with that. I think that's one of the big purposes of being here. Today, we hope we can get justice for the victims, have accountability and transparency. Just curious, have you read the Epstein files that have been released?
No. I've read many news stories about them, but I haven't read them all.
And how many Epstein files do you recall were released during the Biden administration?
0.
I don't know. How many?
If you know.
I don't know.
0. And how many Epstein files have been released during President Trump's second term?
If you know.
Thanks to the Congress and the victims, quite a number.
Over 3 million. Now, as president, you're chief of executive for the U.S. And as we get to the end of this, I'm going to ask you, what could we do to prevent? Because I think that's what we all care about, is what do we do to prevent more human trafficking type stuff. So let's talk about Kevin Spacey for a second. In a June 2024 interview on Piers Morgan, Kevin Spacey recounted noticing young girls on the flight and expressed he didn't want to be around this guy, Epstein, because it felt he put the president at risk on that trip to South Africa because there were these young girls. So did Mr. Spacey ever communicate these concerns to you directly?
Not that I recall, no.
Did anyone else express similar concerns about these young people?
No.
Do you agree with Mr. Spacey's characterization that these young girls on the flight were concerned?
I'm sorry, what exactly is the characterization that Mr. Spacey gave?
That these young girls would put the president at risk?
So that's Mr. Spacey's concern. And you're asking him whether or not
Would he-
Mr.
would he
Spacey
agree?
said that, shared that with him?
Yes, would he agree with that?
I had no reason to believe that at the time.
Okay. Did you ever feel uncomfortable due to the presence of young girls on any of these flights?
When you say young girls, do you mean women who are younger than 18? And so you're saying there were women younger than 18?
I'm asking.
Yeah, if you can ask that question.
Were there anybody on the flights that you can recall under age 18?
To the best of my knowledge, there was not. If there was, and I knew it, I would be uncomfortable.
That answer. All right. Did you ever speak with or otherwise engage with, well, I think you just answered, young girls on these flights, so I'll move on. Ron Burkle, do you know him?
I do.
All right. Ron Burkle commented on the Epstein is creepy. I would like to introduce Majority Exhibit. What's number 21, Majority Exhibit 21, page 5. The paragraph at the top of the page, the last sentence. You would take a look at that.
Could you say what page again?
Sure, it's page 5, the paragraph at the top, the last sentence.
If you could give us a minute to read it, that'd be
Sure.
great. No, page 5.
Top there.
This paragraph.
After this line of questions, I want to stop it.
And more specifically, the last sentence of the top paragraph.
Yeah, I didn't know about this.
So the question would be this, I understand you didn't know anything about it, but let me ask the question. You have no memory of this occurring, correct?
Excuse me, are you talking about Ron Burkle saying to the president?
Well, let me read the whole thing.
He didn't actually say it. It doesn't say that.
Sources close to Burkle says he was invited by Clinton, assumed the rod was vetted, and flew home on a commercial jet after finding Epstein to be creepy. It appears that he saw that and he flew home early. But that be that as may, do you have any memory of this occurring?
I don't.
Why do you think Mr. Burkle would think Epstein is creepy?
You asking
Objection,
for him?
speculative, you can't know what.
I don't know. Some people thought I shouldn't fly with him.
Did you witness anything unusual with Epstein that would lead you to believe that Epstein was creepy?
No, I never saw him do anything that I was suspicious.
And you don't recall Mr. Burkle leaving the trip early to fly home commercially after
I don't know. I'm surprised I don't know that.
Sure. So who else in your circle, because one of the concerns I have is how did someone who is convicted of trafficking humans, how did he infiltrate the highest level of government? If we could get to an idea or a lesson learned, we could prevent that from happening again. Who in your circle, while you were president or after in the Clinton Foundation, who else do you think we should question here?
Can I just clarify one thing? You said who had been convicted. He wasn't convicted at the time.
Epstein?
Yes,
No, I'm talking afterwards. So people that were associated with him because
after he was
because
convicted.
one of the questions would be is why do you think Epstein visited the White House so much?
So he was convicted in 2008,
At least I believe.
and he visited the White House in the 90s. So I'm just trying to make sure you're not speaking to before he was convicted. You're talking about after he was convicted?
So let me go back. So the thing is, he went to the White House many times, and he is connected to world leaders all over the place. Many people have resigned as a result of the Epstein files. So I'm just asking a neutral question, and that based on your experience as a world leader, what could we do to prevent predators like this from infiltrating the highest levels of the American government?
Well, when someone knows about it, they should report it, and there should be a system set up to act on it.
Well, I agree with that. Is it true that in 2013, Ms. Maxwell was a guest at the Clinton Global Initiative Conference?
I don't know. Is that when's the last year we had it?
2013 is one of the years where they were asking whether or not she was there.
I know.
Mhm.
I'm trying to,
So you can just,
off the top of my head, I don't know.
Well, I understand that she also attended your daughter's wedding.
She did.
And so I understand now the unspeakable evil that these people committed. Do you believe it was a mistake allowing them close to your family?
are you asking if he knew at the time when she was at the wedding?
Looking back,
Looking back, I had no idea. If I had known what she was doing, I would have done the right thing.
I understand. Well, I think that,
But I also, keep in mind, I felt bad for Ted Wade, who was a very close friend of mine. And I never had any doubt about him, and still don't.
Roger that. Well, I think you would agree that we all want justice for the victims. We all want transparency, accountability. We want to strengthen our anti-human trafficking laws. President Trump has secured the border and gone after the cartels and even passed legislation to help human trafficking victims. What other legislation could we do based on your experience that would help stop trafficking in America, if not the world?
Well, first you need to ask people who know more about how people get over it. I mean, there's already been a large number of dollars put into settlements, but I think there must be damages to people that will take a lifetime to heal. So I think there needs to be a lot of study on that. And then I think there's the hotlines that where people make reports need to be taken seriously. We need to follow up on, and I think that the more we talk about it, the less likely it is that another big network will form.
Thank you for answering my questions.
I think you're doing a good, just having us talk about it. It's important.
All right, I'm gonna stop it here before the next person comes up. But anyway, hopefully y'all are getting something out of this. Like, comment, share, whatever. I'm not gonna let the Epstein stuff go though. Just saying. I don't think we should. Anyway, I'm trying to write down my time here. Okay. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye. Yeah, come on.